Hey guys, Luso here to kind of finish out your main deck types of monsters that you can have. So these are kind of the less prevalent ones in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh, and you won't run into them quite as often. But I'll just kind of go through them for you so you know they're out there. First up, we have a ritual monster. Again, kind of everything's in the same location as it was before, so I won't go over that. But with these, down by where it says type, it says ritual right beside it, so that's what gives it away as to being a ritual monster, as well as the fact that these also have a blue background, and so they're kind of the only cards in the game that have that. Ritual monsters, a little harder to summon. It requires a ritual spell, which I'll get more into in the spell videos. But with these, you have to have both of those cards in your hand, and then you have to offer monsters from your side of the field or hand whose level is equal to or greater than the level of the ritual monster. And so it just takes so many resources to make. It's kind of why they've been phased out of the game. These are just really prevalent in Geishki decks, but beyond that, you don't see too many of them. Next up, you have spirit monsters. And so with these, you're back to the orange background of an effect monster, and then it says spirit by the type. So with these, the first part of their effect always essentially says that they return from the field to your hand the turn it was normal summoned or flipped face up on the field. And then the end of it, they usually have an additional effect. Like this one is when it inflicts battle damage to your opponent's life points, you get to draw cards from your deck until you have 5 cards in your hand. So when they usually have a decent effect like that, but the fact that you have to waste a summon on it and then it doesn't stay around to protect your life points is why they're not used. So you won't really run into one of these unless you're facing a Gravekeeper deck. They might still have one in there. Next up, you have your Gemini monster. And so with these, again, it's the same orange color as the effect monster, but then by its type it says Gemini. Now these are treated as effect monsters in your deck and in your hand, but they're treated as normal monsters on the field and in your graveyard. And so that's kind of the twist with these. And in order to get the effect of the monster, you have to summon it the first time, and then the following turn you have to summon it again, and then it gains the effect. And so with these, they really aren't used just because it takes so long to get their effect. The only time you really run into Gemini monsters is in Elemental Hero beatdown decks. And then last but not least, you have your Tuner. And these are used for synchro summons. Psychic Wizard will talk more about those in the synchro video, but just to kind of get you started with them, it says Tuner by where it says the type, and then in the description it usually has an additional effect for them. So like this one, it just has a special summoning requirement in the effect, so you can special summon it from your graveyard by returning 1 card from your hand to the top of your deck. But when you do that, it's removed from play when it leaves the field. So it's kind of a useful effect and is helpful in a lot of situations. But again, tuners will be covered more in depth by Psychic Wizard. And so that wraps out kind of the less used types of monsters. And so I shall see you guys in the next video to talk about spell cards. Until then, Luso signing out.